Hi Cancer, welcome to your reading for the month of January. This message is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you like the content that I share, please click the like and subscribe down below. And Cancer, I'm doing it a little bit differently this month. I've already pulled your energy, I've pulled the energy of your environment and an oracle card. And I'm gonna do your 9-card spread while I'm talking to you a little bit about your astrology for January 2021. Now your astrology, it's going to go a little bit longer in my conversation than January. It's going to go into the year a little bit. But for starters, you have all of these Venus-Pluto conjunctions in your house of partnerships, right? So deep transformative energy around areas of love. Venus also represents children, money, and themes around self-worth and self-value. So this could come up either for you or for your partner, but all of it is centered around partnerships, especially if you're in legal contracts with people. So there's that for starters. It can cause pretty tumultuous things to happen, or it can cause something that feels pretty sudden. Like if you're already in something, if you're already in a relationship, this could be a time where it gets taken to the next level. Right? This can also be a time when partnerships get dissolved and people choose to walk away. So take that however it resonates. In your 8th house, you have Saturn, and it's there throughout this next year and into 2023. Saturn in the 8th is a super interesting placement because, it's one where a lot of healing can occur, but also it can, 8th house is your house of spirituality. It's your house of death and rebirth. And Saturn is there to teach us things. And Saturn is the chart ruler of your house of partnerships. So that placement for me, Saturn through the 8th, is one of potentially the dark night of the soul, one of spiritual awakening, heightened spiritual awareness. And what I sense from that, combined with the fact that Jupiter is in your 9th house at this time, your house of higher learning, is that if there's an area of your life where you've been looking to gain greater knowledge, you see how he's looking at the world in that card, where you've been looking to manifest greater knowledge and just a deeper understanding of some field, especially if it's tied into like spirituality or religion, that could be highlighted at this time. And that's a big thing for the entire year, actually. Saturn through the 8th is one that requires really good self-nurturing practices. I mentioned the phrase dark night of the soul earlier, and this could be a time where maybe you get deeper into your meditation. If you're already someone who meditates, then maybe 2022 is the year where you like double down and you do more of it, right? Another placement, I have my astrology notes for you over here, so if I keep looking over there, that's why. And yeah, you have the South Node through your 5th house, starting at the beginning of this year in 2022. It'll be there all year and into 2023. The South Node is pulling something out of our lives. So part of how I'm interpreting this for you, it's going to be really important for Cancers to incorporate, I just said self-nurturing before, but also practices that are really fun for you. Things that can, if you're going through any sort of like heaviness in this year or relinquishing of things, situations, relationships, it's going to be important to incorporate some of those really like fun practices that remind you of who you are, get you back to the essence of you, and remembering your worth and your value. That Venusian theme all over again. But that's really what I have for you in your astrology. The Capricorn reading, I mentioned to them that they have probably some of the most difficult transits coming up here. But I think you guys come in second, and I don't say it to be discouraging, but I say it more to be like equipped and prepared, that the self-nurturing practices are fantastic, they're necessary. The intentional fun will be healing and rewarding. And then doing things to intentionally heal with that Saturn through the 8th. And there you are, King of Cups coming up here. But it's likely that, especially in January, there could be some decisions to make in regards to your partnerships that require listening to your heart. So In your energy, you got the Knight of Wands. And it feels very fun. It feels impulsive. And you at the end. And when I pulled this Knight of Wands card, there was one other card that tried to like just tumble its way out really awkwardly out of the deck. And I took it, and it was the King of Wands. And Cancer, I think this is almost like a precursor. Maybe it's where you see yourself heading. Maybe you see yourself moving into this more king-like energy, one that is grounded and totally aware of his power, or her power of creativity. There's no like gender really attached to the cards. I mean, I know it's here, but you can take it, you know, however. But the Knight of Wands is coming up in your energy right now. So there could be something where you're feeling inside of yourself like there's an ascension going on, that there's some kind of like a graduation, almost like a graduation ceremony implied with these cards. Moving from that knight who, all of the knights are out on the battlefield, right? They're learning life lessons. They're not pages, they have deeper level of responsibility. But they're also not in this awareness around their king or their queenness. So there's something here that maybe in the relinquishing of something, you're actually coming more into this space of maturity. This can totally be, when we look at like moving from a knight to a king, it can look like that. Moving into a position of greater authority in the workplace or greater leadership in some area of your life. That could be happening at this time too. And you're finding that you're having to embody a different type of energy than maybe you're used to. If you had a position before where you had a lot of room for freedom and play and fun, maybe it's suggested here that you're moving into something that's a little bit more serious, but that the like salary is larger or something like that. So, you know, that'll resonate differently for everyone, but there's definitely like a graduation that's happening with that. And then in your environment, you got the Ace of Wands, and I loved it. This feels like a new opportunity. It's something that could be very exciting and tied into your creative passion. It could be tied into pleasure. And this feels like something completely brand new to what you've been used to. And maybe that could be like leaving you in some kind of like a shaky spot or something like that. Something that's really awesome to see is this moon card, the Gibbous Moon. You're very close to achieving your goal. So if there's something you're working on and you know you've been putting like 100% of your effort into it and you're feeling some pushback, or that maybe the timing of it isn't happening in the way that you originally thought, this is suggesting here that you're moving really closely to it to continue with your patience. And I feel like this is something where, again, here we go, Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, there's something in the environment that could feel very stagnant, even though you're the one putting effort forward. The other way this could come out is the reversal of that. Your environment could be pushing you towards something and you could feel like you can't move forward, you can't take action, or something inside of you is feeling really stubborn around movement. I sense the first one will be more resonant, but I just wanted to throw that one out there too. But yeah, this middle of your reading, Two of Wands, feels like a yearning for higher knowledge, greater understanding of something that maybe you have a very basic level of understanding of, or a foundational level right now, and you really want to double down, invest your money, your time into gaining a greater understanding of some field here. Of course, that'll be different for everyone. But on the sides of this, you've got the Star and the Hierophant. So it could definitely be something around, like I was saying before, spirituality. You might be seeking out a mentor at this time, someone to help with healing. Scorpio got this as well. So if you have dominant Scorpio placements, you might want to check out that video. But of course, this manifestation could have something to do with deeper levels of healing and something around maybe energy work. The Hierophant does suggest some structure behind this, so I don't really sense it, even though it, you know, everyone's learning is different. I don't sense it as much from like purely like reading books and learning from articles and things like that. I'm sensing it more like a structured capacity. something where like you take a course online, or something that's like there's a certificate involved or something like that. At the start of your reading, there's someone else that's present, but at the end of your reading, there's a really strong indicator of your energy. So I'm going to start with this, the Queen of Pentacles, who is not you. And next to it is the Ten of Cups and the Five of Cups. This feels like Neptunian to me, these two cards next to each other, especially if it's in regards to another person, a partner, a mother figure, or an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And the 10 reducing down to the 5 makes me feel like there's some illusion around what true emotional fulfillment really is. And maybe, hopefully this is before the month of January, but it could be right in the month of January that you're stepping into some awareness around emotional fulfillment that was perceived in some relationship at some given point in time, but maybe turned out to be something that's filled with some regret. The Five of Cups can be a regret card, and it can also be a card of remorse. This could be someone in regards to you, but this is your reading, Cancer, so I think this is on your side. And maybe it's through this awareness, maybe that's why at the end of your reading, I get so much strong energy around you showing up, right? Because like I said, you aren't really showing up in this first row. I think the 10 and the 5 of Cups indicates your perception of a given situation. And of course, with you, Cancer, being a water sign, being so in touch with your emotions and your intuition, this is suggesting that this is a feeling space that you're going from. And the 10 of Cups is, I think, one of the most powerful cards, because even though the 10 of Pentacles is like everything in a tangible sense, it's like family and legacy, the 10 of Cups is actually the like deep emotional fulfillment. So in some ways, the 10 of Pentacles can even be things that look a certain way on the outside, but the 10 of Cups is the true fulfillment, right? It's the thing that like we feel like speaks to our heart and soul. And there's something suggested here, especially with all like the gray on the card with the 5 of Cups, that there's like a reduction of the emotional space, right? The 10 of Cups going, here I am an air sign, like really breaking down the emotions behind it. But yeah, there's something about the reducing of the 10 of Cups, something that maybe at one point actually was really fulfilling, and there was something that came out or came to light. This feels like Venus-Pluto related stuff right there. That's like in 2 cards, that's like how that can show up. But in the middle, the middle row feels so much bigger than you. It feels tied into like the universe, the star, the 2 of Wands, the Hierophant card. The card that seems the biggest here is the Star card. So something from this past relationship or dynamic, or like I said, it could have been a mother figure even, there's something around it where there's healing that's being called for now. It's suggesting here that January, maybe there's the need to be aware of the need for healing. That came out, okay. Maybe there's the awareness around it, but then throughout the entire year of 2022, maybe it's a time of continual healing, processing, working on things. And it is tied in deeply to your spirituality. And like I said, it does feel kind of like bigger than you. Your bottom row, you got the Lovers. Immediately, this feels like a choice to make, especially if this is a partnership that you're still in, someone that's still even in your energy, or someone in your family. This feels like a choice has to be made, and maybe you'll come into greater awareness around this at the end of January. And whatever choice is made, the suggestion here in this bottom row is to make the one that feels like harmony and balance inside of yourself, right? Coming into greater awareness of yourself. Again, we've got that King energy, right? I love that it actually showed up in your 9-card spread this time, instead of like this off to the side King of Wands. Yeah, I love that because I think it's an awareness of the self, of the emotional maturity as well with the King of Cups, right? Because with the King of Cups, you can see the waters are all like ripply around him. There's movement, but he's super solid. Like his throne is not moving, right? So that, and then the Chariot coming really fully into who you are, where you want to go, because the Chariot is not directionless, right? Like if we take this at its face value and don't look at it as like your pure like major arcana, this is all about your movement forward, having a direction and having an intention with where you're going and what you want to create for the remainder of the year. I really like that. I would recommend at this time stress relieving practices. Your video cut out as I was saying. I would recommend stress relieving practices at this time. Anything to keep you in a calm state and yeah, things maybe like yoga and like I was saying before, maybe like doubling down on meditation, I think could be really great, not just for the month of January, but for Cancers throughout the entire year. So I hope this helps. That's been your message for January, and I will see you in February. If you like the content that I share, please hit the like and subscribe down below. All right.